So, alright, let's start. Alright guys, welcome to my Doombringer set review. You are now in the blood section. Before we start though, I just want to say I will not be covering limited cards. If a card is just for limited, I will say it's playable limited. I will also not be covering the fusion termini, because they have over 158 combinations. I'm sure like 2 or 3 will be playable, but out of those 150, 160, or however many you can combine, I'm not going to go look through all of them to see which 2 or 3 are playable. Instead, I'll be giving you the cards that will be in Tier 1 decks and be very competitive in constructed. Most notably, not immortal, like the Hex Bash or the Cosmic Crown Showdown or the Arcanium Vault stuff. Alright, let's go and start. Our first card for blood is called Accursed Mutation. 3-cost action. As an additional cost to play this, discard another card. Target tree you control gets +3/+3. No, I won't say no. This card's not good enough for constructed. We have cards like Death Blossom or Death Bloom. The card that gives like +2/+1 and triggers Death Cries. That card is barely played, which is it's miles better than this card. So I do not believe this card will be played. I believe this card will not be played. Alright, Attune with Blood. 4-cost, basic action. Draw 3 cards, lose 3 health. Heavens no. Guys, you have Blood's Favor, you have Zedek's Judgment, you have Vampire Prince, you have an even better card we're going to get to later that draws you even more cards. This card, do not play this card in your blood decks. This card is limited only. Not good enough for constructed. Bestitched. I loved this card when it was a 6-cost action, but it's not. This card I think is a fine card to play as a one-of in your reanimator strategy. Like, let's say, hey, you're discarding a Julius and Gargolith, but you have no Mordrum's Gift. Okay, fine. I'll just pay 3, void both those troops, and make like a humongous troop. This is nice. This is a different way to reanimate. And when that troop dies, when that like 18 dies, or however big it is, when that troop dies, you can still reanimate that troop. That troop's huge, so that's fine. It's a nice way to reanimate your troops when you don't have Mordrum's Gift. It's also an okay answer against a reanimator deck in your reserves, though I wouldn't recommend it. Like, you don't want someone to go, like, obviously you can void their Doombringer cause or increase the party pig so they can't reanimate them, but you don't want to be in a scenario where dog's gonna bark. Cover your ears. If this mailman rings the doorbell, please don't ring the doorbell. Don't ring it. Don't ring it. Walk away. He rang the doorbell. Alright, Bruce! Bruce! Bruce, it's okay, buddy. Calm down. You're okay. No one is bestitching you. Alright? You're staying whole. You're fine. You're fine. Guys. Shh. No more barking. You're fine. Alright, Bruce. So, again, I was saying this card is... Sorry about that. I can't control when the mailman or FedEx decides to come. I was saying you can play this card against the reanimator decks, but I would not recommend it because they can change course end of turn and then reanimate on their turn. Then you're just like stuck with this card in your hand. You're like, why am I playing this? Just play Gravebone Vial or play the card that Brink of Madness. Don't play this card as an anti-reanimator card. Blight. Basic action. All troops get -2/-2 this turn. This card is very playable, only in reserves. I can't imagine this card is playable in constructed, in main deck. It's fine in reserves, but Blood has way too much removal to need this main deck. Like, it has Strangle, you have Cheap Shot, you have Hero Fall, you have Massacre. You don't need this card main deck. Like, it's fine in your reserves, but not main deck. Excellent reserves card though. Blightwood Cyclops. 2 sockets and rebirth. That's pretty good. I need another. I don't think you can play this like from your hand. I think you should reanimate this because this competes with like Eternal Seeker in the blood control decks. But again, I'm sorry guys, I need to figure out what the or refresh my memory for the blood or the gems in this set. Let me look real fast, double check see how good this card is or not. Okay, so for blood, you can do the Fleshcraft. So when it dies, it makes a copy of itself. That's pretty freaking good. A copy of itself without the gems. You can give it Migraines. Someone deals damage to an opponent, they discard a card. You can get Flight and Swift Strike if you're playing Diamond, which is that's pretty good too. You can give it Twin Strike, which deals double damage, and Ruby. That's probably the one you'd want. You can give it when it comes into play, creates a random action in Sapphire, or Vanishing. Basically, you can discard a card and bring back your hand. I don't think you want Vanishing. Sorcery's probably fine. Major Wild, the green one makes it grow every time you play a resource. That is not good enough. It's 7/7. Does not need to be bigger. And the other major one is Major Wild of Calling, which is when it deals damage to a champion, you look at the top 4 cards of your library and put a troop into your hand. I don't think it's that one either. So I think this is definitely going to be, if you play this, it's going to be Major Orb of Fleshcraft. So if it dies, it comes back to life and makes a 7/7 as well. As far as the minor gem, we have, let's see, I think Leeching would be great. Leeching is the one that gives it +1 attack and life drain, but only if you control another prismatic troop. That's not reliable though. So you probably have to do... Feral is good. Feral makes it where you have to be blocked by 2 more troops. That's pretty good for 7/7. So it's probably Feral. It's not Rowdy. Yeah, I imagine it's Feral, or it's the blue gem that makes it basically untargetable by spells that cost 2 or less. So somebody can't Hawkward turn it. But for sure, Major Orb of Fleshcraft. Okay, all that being said, I still don't think it's better than Eternal Seeker. Eternal Seeker costs this much, comes into play and just voids everything. If your opponent's not playing Eternal Seeker, it's okay. I don't know. I just find it hard to play this over Eternal Seeker, so I'm gonna say no. If you give like speed in Twin Strike, sure, but there's no more speed gem in Hex right now. Not in Standard anyway. So I'm gonna say no for Standard. Maybe Immortal, not Standard. Also, hey Hex Hunter McCog, how you doing, man? All right, Bloodleech Apocalyte. This is the fusion card I was talking about earlier. It's 2 cost 2/1, has fusion with life drain. I'm not going to this. I'm sure there's a combination you can make that's good, but I don't know what it is. Cadaverous Husker. 6 cost 5/5. Sacrifice on the troop. This gets Rebirth. This is a nice like sacrifice outlet. The only problem is it costs 6. So I take that back. It's not a nice sacrifice. Not a nice sacrifice outlet because it costs way too much. So no, not playable. Court of Souls. 1 cost. Troops you control get +1 power permanently. If you control a wild threshold, gain 1 health for each troop you control. This is a good reserves card for like a Blood Wild Deathcry deck or Blight Blossom deck, or the Root guy that gives your guy Deathcry, make two Blight Blooms, whatever it's called. Sorry, I should know the names, but Plague Root the Hollow or something like that. It's good in the reserves of that deck, because if there is an aggressive deck and you have like a bunch of 1/1s, you're probably already good against that deck anyways. But you can just, overkill them. You can gain like 5 life and give all you guys +1 attack. Because I mean, obviously, I believe like the Plague Root the Hollow deck is very good against Mono Ruby decks or any aggressive deck. It's just gonna be good. Like you have a bunch of Blight Bushes and things that do stuff when they die. So, but if you want extra life and stuff, sure, play this in reserves. If you want, I don't think you need it, but this is where this was to play, I believe, in reserves. Cryptspitter. Speaking of spitting, I need some water because my mouth is gonna dry. Swift Strike, if you control a diamond. When it deals damage to a troop, that troop gets -1/-1. So if you have a 3/3 that blocks this, it'll become a 2/2 before damage is dealt. Cool and limited. Way too much in constructed. Not playable in constructed. Death Toll. 2 costs. Destroy target troop, discard a card. This card is playable. I don't know why Blood needed more removal. They have Strangle. They have Casualty of War. They have Hero Fall. They have Puck's End. They have Massacre. They have a lot of removal. They have so much removal. And Death Toll is another playable one. Like, I understand it competes with Strangle, but the fact that it's 1 blood instead of 2, it's unconditional, and discarding is valuable in this set where you can discard, like if you're playing Reanimator. Like if you're playing Reanimator, I'm not always going to have like 2 blood thresholds because I'm probably going to be playing like 3 or 4 thresholds. So this card is very good to just destroy a troop and then discard my Aegilius, my Gargolith, my Doombringer Caw, Oinkers the Party Pig, whatever. This card is very, very playable in decks that can abuse the discard outlet. This card is so good. Why does Blood have so much removal? Strangle, Casualty of War, and now this card. This card's great. Fatalfuel Alpha. 3 cost, 4/3, lethal. Feral. Again, if you know what Feral does, Feral is when this attacks. When this is attacking, it must be blocked by 2 or more troops. If you cannot block it with 2 more troops, it is unblockable. Rabid. So the first time this attacks. Rabid is the first time this attacks, have this ability, then that ability will go away. So, Rabid. Other troops you control get lethal and feral this turn. Holy crap. If your opponent has like 2 or 3 troops, like, good game. Because you're not blocking their guys. And if you do block their guys, all your troops are dead. This card is pretty great. Again, it's not one I would play 4 of by any means. I don't think you play 4 of this card. It's basically like a overrun type card where you play it, then you kill your opponent. So you don't really want 4 because this is a one-shot ability. You probably want like 1 or 2, maybe just 1. But this card is very powerful, and I can't imagine how good this card is in limited. In limited, this card's like a bomb. I can't it's like, okay, opponent, attack me, or you're dead next turn, or I'm literally wiping your board or killing you. So this card is pretty obnoxious limited. I can't imagine. And constructed, I could see it as a 1 of in your Blood Ruby aggro deck. 1 over 2 of. You don't want 4 again because like your curve I don't think wants to be this guy attack. Maybe you do. I'm not the best aggro player, but I personally don't believe you want 4 of these. Maybe like 2. But it's still very scary. Festering Mongrel. 4 cost, 3/2, Cyclable Miner, Rabid with attacks, basically. Opposing troops get -1/-1 permanently. Great limited. Constructed, no. No, not good. Too much. Fetid Scavenger. 3 cost, 3/2, Rabid. A random opposing troop gets -1/-1. A random. Blind limited. We don't want this random stuff in constructed. No, thank you. Forsake the Shards. Why did Blood get this card? I don't know. You know what? I don't know. Because Blood doesn't need help. Blood is the best deck, let's be honest, before the set releases. Hopefully it's not the case anymore. But let's see. Forsake the Shards. It's a constant. Deploy. Discard your hand. You lose all non-blood thresholds. Well, if you're playing mono blood, who gives a hoot? At the start of your turn, create a random blood card that you meet the threshold requirements to play and put it into your hand. So basically, it's 1/2 of Psychic Ascension. At the start of your turn, create a random blood card, put it in your hand. Sure you don't get the random creature when you cast that spell, but this also costs 3 instead of 15. I think it's fair. This card's powerful. Great in the grinding matchup, so we can like play this. Obviously, you have to discard your hand, so that's the drawback. But guys, if you guys have played the Blood Mirror match, you and your opponent are Demented Whispering each other, Withering Gazing each other, you're using Primordial Cockatrice, like, you are basically hellbent by turn 4. You have no cards in your hand anyways, so whatever. This card is it has no drawback in that matchup where you want it. Obviously, you also can control when you play it. So like when your hand is dead, like you have no more removal spells or no more good cards, you can cast it. Come on now, come on. Gravebone Apocalyte, 4 cost, fusion, rebirth. Again, I'm sure there's a combination of these things that is playable. Nameless Dustman. When a champion discards a card, this gets +1/+1 permanently. Nope, not good enough in. Or maybe you go turn 2 Duskman, turn 3 Primordial Cockatrice, make it a 4/4. Turn 4 Whispers. No, guess what? If you've played Primordial Cockatrice on turn 3, and you play Whispers on turn 4, you're winning. Because your opponent has no hand. It doesn't matter if you have a 2/2, if you have a 6/6, you've won, okay? Alright, man, you've won. You don't need this dust man to dust things up. You can dust things up yourself. Your opponent has no hand. Noxsting Apocalyte. 3 cost, 2/2 lethal fusion. Again, out of the hundreds of combinations of this combination, I'm sure you'll find one that works. Sanatorium. This art is sweet, by the way. Look at this. The floating eyeball. Then like this like little zombie guy or something right here. Sweet art, sweet art. Alright, 3 cost constant. When an opposing champion discards a card, this deals 3 damage to that champion. I'm seeing a discard theme. I think this theme is more so for limited. Or maybe it's to punish discard decks. Like maybe it's to punish the Scribe of the Flayed Man, so maybe. Art is sweet. I don't think it's good enough for constructed. Unless the Sapphire Ruby deck is freaking insane and you can discarding card is very powerful. Maybe this could be a reserves card. No, I don't think so, man. 3 cost reserves card to I see you. I'm gonna say no. It's so narrow. Shadowbat. 5 cost, 3/3 with flight. Deploy each champion chooses to discard an action. Next, limited only. Sinister Vell. 6 cost, quick action. Target troop is -6/-6 this turn. That troop's dead. Not playable and constructed though. Spectral Attendant, 1/1 rebirth. So close. So close. If this was Death Cry be a phantom, then yes. Even this way, it's not unplayable. Like it's playable in, like, it is playable in reserves. It is playable in a Deathcry deck because it can block Baby Yeti, it can block Bolt Spasm, it can block Righteous Outlaw, then come back to life. Think of it as like a 1 cost Blight Blossom. It's playable. Not exciting, but it is playable. Verminous Piper. What's he smoking? He's smoking a scorpion. Look at this cat. It's a Chaos Tongue. It's like a purple schlong poofa. Alright, 4 cost, 2/3. Deploy. Create 2 Chaos Tongues. Put them into your hand. A Chaos Tongue is a 1 cost Sapphire Threshold 1/1 that's unblockable. Limited only. Violet's Constable. Ooh, it's getting spooky in here. It's getting spooky now. 4 cost, 1/1 rebirth. Deploy. This gets +1/+1 for each troop that died this turn. Okay. Okay. So you can like sacrifice a bunch of guys, play this, it's a 5/5. Then when it dies, it comes back to life. So if someone plays like Massacre or plays like Annihilate, it comes back and it's even bigger. No, not playable. Not playable and constructed. Too much work. If you ever top deck this card, you can be like, why am I playing this in my deck? It's a 4 cost 1/1. Don't do it. It's too much work, and the payoff is like, it's not even. It has no evasion. It has no feral. It has no flying. It has no unblockable. Like, guys, play something else. Don't play this card. All right, that's it for the blood cards. So, yeah, I think the best blood card is probably going to be this one. Surprise. Okay, that is it for Blood, guys. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. I will be doing future set reviews too. Again, guys, I'm not doing this for. I'm doing this for you. So if you enjoy this, please leave a comment, like, subscribe, do your thing, and I'll see you on the next video you decide to watch. See you guys.